All right, we're live. Hello and welcome to this another work in progress Wednesday hobby stream. We haven't done one of these, fun fact, in a month because I've been dealing with some significant health nonsense on my end. But happy to be back and happy to be with my dear chums. Kajan, want to say hello, Kajan?
Hi everyone.
Hello, and Voices on Silent. Want to say hello, Shane?
Hello, everyone.
Hello. I don't. Do you want? Should have asked. Do you want me to call you Voices on Silent? Do you want me to call you Voss? Okay to call you
You could
Shane?
just call me Shane. That's
Oh,
fine.
that's awesome. Thanks for being so amenable to stuff. Um, yeah, small update on my end. I had a muscle tear in my leg, and then I got a blood clot from that muscle tear, and they assured me it would be fine. And that blood clot turned into a bigger blood clot, and it was like the real kind of blood clot you got to worry about. So it's been over a month of me trying to deal with this and just thinking I'm getting better and then not really getting better and then thinking my leg is better and I can walk on it and then I can't really walk on it because I have muscular stuff going on and stabbing myself in the gut with blood thinner injections and fun stuff like that. So yeah, it's been interesting. Um
You've been able to work throughout it?
well, I work from home. Like
Oh, okay.
I would say that like theoretically, yes, I've been able to work. But I've been mostly working like sitting on a couch with like just my
Right.
laptop. That's not, like I'm like I can do this, no problem. And then today like I actually tried like sitting at a desk again because my legs a little bit seems like a little better maybe. And it's just I feel so much more um productive with an external monitor trying to get everything on the couch.
Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
yeah. Yeah, so I have been able to work, although like my work is very fastidious about like we need to be in the office all the time.
Mm.
And that means that I had to like get like letters from my doctor to like say why I'm not in the office because like my leg's busted and I can't work on it and I can't stand longer than like a minute. So yeah, I've been able to walk, but it also like weird stuff, man. Like they're like, you have a blood clot. We're gonna give you blood thinners. It's gonna be fine. I'm like, cool. And then what they don't tell you is that there's like a lot of like mental health implications of when someone tells you you have a blood clot because they're like, oh yeah, if you have any pain in your chest or you have any like dizziness or shortness of breath, you might be dying. So come back to the hospital. Like great, but like, what are the symptoms for anxiety and panic attacks?
Right.
Chest stuff, breath stuff, dizzy stuff. So yeah, it was I feel like feeling better about the blood clot now because I've been on like the medication for a long time, seen like my blood specialist and they've been like you're doing pretty well. Now it's just like figuring out the muscles in my leg because they got all messed up all this. Um and that I had a really low point with that earlier this week, but went to a bunch of medical appointments yesterday and today and I'm feeling better about it psychologically. Although at today's medical appointment, they let me know that I'm going to be doing rehabilitation of my leg for 6 weeks. So
Oof.
the shitty part is that what's 2 weeks away? Does anyone have a guess? Big, fancy.
Adepticon?
Adepticon.
Wait, so when this first happened, they were like, "Oh yeah, 2-3 weeks, you'll be fine." I'm like, "Okay, cool. Still be able to go to Adepticon." Like literally, like just over a week ago, I was getting to a point where like my leg felt more walkable. I'm like, maybe I'll be able to go to Adepticon. And my hematologist is like, oh yeah, I don't actually have a concern about you flying. Like they're short flights. Like, but the problem is that like I'm traveling alone, so I wouldn't have like any help getting around. And I don't know how much you know about accommodations on airplanes, but they're shit. Like they say they
Yeah.
care, but they don't care. Like I don't have a wheelchair, and like I don't know, I'd have to like haul all my junk. So yeah, I was going like, okay, I'm gonna go to these medical appointments today. I'm gonna see what the doctors say. I'm gonna have to make a call from that, let the Adepticon folks know. And yeah, at the appointment today is when the sports medicine doctor's like, you need 6 weeks of rehab. I'm like,
Damn.
so yeah, bad news. I don't get to go to Adepticon. Second time I've been denied going to Adepticon. First time by the pandemic. So
Man, that sucks.
yeah, well, I'm gonna see like I'm hoping that I can still like provide something to the people who are supposed to come to my sessions. I'm really hoping it's early enough for them to get their money back. Like I told the organizers about this as soon as possible. They were like, "Do you have anyone that can cover for you?" And like, fucking, you guys know Red Wet Skeleton?
Yeah.
Yeah, Eli. He's Eli. If you've never met Eli in your life, you're missing out. Eli is one of the finest human beings on this. He's so sweet, so sweet, so sensitive. And I'd like gotten to know him a little bit online, and he's created music for this for like my videos and like for the Creature Conference and stuff like that. And but I met him for the first time at Visterion, and he's just such a much more lovely human in life than I ever thought. And I already thought he was a pretty lovely human. Also, scary talented artist. Like he did some really amazing monsters for Visterion that are less miniatures and more art. So Eli's, I like told him like, "Oh, dude, I don't think I'm gonna make it to Adepticon because of my leg." He's like, "You know what, buddy? I'll Ratatouille for you. I can like put on a headset and you can like direct me through the headset, and I'll tell him all the shit." I'm like, that's very sweet of you, and I love the image of it. But I feel like I would feel bad having people show up and be like, "I paid how much for this Ratatouille bullshit?" So we're gonna see if he can like alternatively be like a sculpting supply fairy, because there's some stuff I wanted to hand out to people, and I think that stuff is still gonna be showing up. Someone needs to get it to the people. So we'll see if he takes on the assignment. But he's super sweet to have offered to be my Ratatouille. I guess I would be his Ratatouille. I don't know how that works. I haven't actually seen it.
I mean, if he can like balance like a tablet on his head, and you could be looking through like video Skyping, and he would have your head on his head.
Hey,
And
listen, we have the technology. I
yeah,
fully believe we have the technology. We can make this happen. But I don't know that that would be a great experience for a bunch of people who might not know me from Adam. Like, I signed up for this green stuff thing, and all I got was weird Ratatouille.
I mean,
Yeah, that's understandable.
at least help me green stuff daddy crowd
I'm so
know what they
sad.
have signed up.
You're right. Yeah. Oh man, the Help Me Green Stuff Daddy. That was going to be the party session. That was where I was going to get like super sculpting tools from Hydra. I was going to give them out to everyone. I was going to see about getting some like super spoon tools for them all. But I'm just really hoping that the organizers are understanding about all this, and that they won't be adverse to me trying to sign up again next year, because I would really love to do this. And I was honestly really blown away by, like, I think I've shared before that when I found out that Decepticons went on registration, I went to see if any of my like about my sessions, and they all said no spots available. I literally messaged the conference organizers and said, "Hey, stupid question. Have my sessions already sold out, or is there a problem?" And she's like, "Nope, your session's sold out." I was like, "What in the heck?" So I was super touched by that, like insanely touched, and that's why I feel like I'm letting down the team. But
Well, I mean, your health comes first.
Yeah. I mean,
my issue is, I'm also traveling to another country, right? So I don't know if my health insurance would even cover this. With like
that's
pre-existing
what you.
conditions and all that kind of stuff. Like, I don't know that I can
Right.
even safely travel. And Nora took me to the
True.
doctor's. What's that, Kajan?
I was just thinking that maybe travel insurance would maybe cover that, but I'm not sure.
They might. I might have to pay more, but it's just like travel insurance is one thing, but then I'm like in another country away from my spouse. I'm not traveling with like, I might have friends at Adepticon, but I'm not traveling with any like friends or whatever. So if I'm in trouble, it's just me trying to navigate the American healthcare system with
Yeah, good luck
insurance.
with that.
Exactly. So yeah, it's just like it seems like for a lot of reasons that it's probably not a great idea. And Nora Nora said, she's like, maybe it's a good thing. Like maybe this is like a sign from the universe that, you will get to Adepticon one year, but not this year. And then I'm like, yeah, maybe it's a sign from the universe that the president's going to do something terrible and weird before Adepticon and make it so like I need a visa to get to the United States or something like that. So who knows?
Oh, don't say that.
Well, the scariest thing for me, sorry, we won't talk about politics too much. The scariest thing for me is my idiot premier, who's like the governor of my province in Canada, Doug Ford, brother of the crack smoking mayor of my city, or old crack smoking mayor of my city. he seems to be like the only Canadian politician who's managed to make a dent in Trump. Like he's the one who threatened to like put a 25% tariff on electricity sent to the United States, and then like immediately got a meeting with Trump's something secretary something. So there's people in Canada who are like, oh, the other premiers should be more like Doug Ford. I'm like, God, please don't be like Doug Ford. Doug Ford's the worst. But
Before we go further
yep.
further with this, we have people joining us in chat, and
Hello,
I
friends.
want to highlight that apparently Tom Wilson is asking if this is his birthday present.
Oh, Tom, it's your
Here.
birthday today? Oh, happy birthday,
Oh, happy
buddy.
birthday, Tom.
Yeah. Yeah. I. You mean this? This is me. Like, I'm not sure what to work on tonight. So before we started, I was suggesting to Shane that he's like, I'm not sure what to work on tonight. I'm like, just do what I'm doing, which is the bullshit unboxing stream. I'll probably work on something later. I'm glad you guys are working. In fact, you know what? Because I'm doing a bullshit unboxing stream, and you guys are doing actual work. I'm gonna make my video. Oops, smaller. Your
Oh
video.
god, don't let people see what I'm doing.
I appreciate it. Also, very nice. Wait, like, Shane, did you put a boost on our Discord? You did, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah, so we're supposed to have like shit hot video for you guys streaming. So we got to get that shit
Yep,
hot
we
video
should
up.
have 10. I think we should have 1080 streaming.
Keep telling myself that my server. I like look at how much the boost costs. I'm like,
Well, it's better to just get Discord Nitro, and then you get 2 free boosts.
okay, the price is not that much different.
It's and the benefits that you get for like your own streaming, like you can stream in 4K if you have
Oh,
premium on your own
cool.
streams. So
But I don't. My thing is like I don't. Discord. I stream from OBS. I don't stream from Discord. I've never tried streaming direct from Discord.
yeah, I'm not sure how that would work.
Things.
Yeah, it mostly affects us since we are streaming on Discord and.
Okay, yeah, and that's the thing that I would like. That would appeal to me, being able to like get when you guys are sharing. Okay. Yes. Hello to Dan Kaplinger, Diana, Tom Wilson, Electro Dust Bunny, Technician Sourwell, Radon 995. Huh?
I dropped something.
Oh shit! I thought you got the Technician Sourwell joke. Peter Luokala. Eric Wire. Eric Wire's here. Oh, I'm glad Eric's tuning in. We're gonna have something to show Eric later.
Mr.
Although
Wire.
Eric's already seen
Hello,
it.
everybody.
Hello.
That's what I should be working on. Now that Eric's here, I should be working on my Vestarian stuff.
That's a good plan. What are you guys working on? Kajan, what are you working on?
I'm still working on on the Manufactor.
Nice.
So it's still a work in progress. I finally managed to get the claws on.
Yeah.
Which was surprisingly more difficult than I anticipated.
Well, congratulations. Like, claws are finicky, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm holding them in my hand right now because I wanted to have different sizes of claws for the back hind legs, and it wouldn't stick. I've tried epoxy, I tried regular glue, and it always started to wobble. And finally, I gave up and used super glue and baking powder.
Good call. And Shane, what are you working on?
I'm working on a little bit of everything. I got my Rotten Factory Kickstarter, and there's some cool little guys in there that I thought looked like really good basis for weird Tyranid guys. So
yeah,
I'm kind of converting them to be slightly more Tyranidy. This guy's
that's working. That's good. I can see him.
Okay, maybe. Come on, you can do it.
Oh, you got it. It works.
You can do it.
Just be
You
patient.
can
Just
do
give
it.
your computer, back it up a
You
little bit. Just
can
back it off a
do it.
little.
There we go.
Oh, yeah. Oh, nice. They're really
There he
cool.
is.
Oh, Simon, you
So
like
I
that
figure
guy?
with him, I'm
Simple
gonna
dude.
add like some head ridges,
Yep.
and I think he's gonna be holding like a severed arm that he's like been chewing on, and look like he's rubbing his tummy because he's
Having a
hungry.
little snack.
And this guy, I'm gonna give like a bunch of. I got all these little Termagan arms, so he's gonna have like some more Tyranidy arms. These are for
Cool.
the Tyranid mutants for my Triptych 28 project.
Yep. Sweet.
And I've got a fresh batch of epoxy sculpt.
Oh, epoxy?
Yes, epoxy.
Sweet. Where'd you pick that up?
I just got it off Amazon.
Oh, okay. I don't
Got to
think
feed the corporate
Aves likes
monster.
that, but I don't know if you have another supplier anywhere near you. Wait, have you ever tried buying directly from Aves? As I don't live in the United States, I can't do that.
I don't know. I've never tried. Usually I just order from Amazon because generally when I want to order it, it's because I want to start sculpting now and I can get
Yeah.
it on Prime shipping like next day.
I feel like I should try to like ask Aves if they can give me a discount code for people in the United States. It's like they're one of the people who shipped samples to me for Adepticon. So
Oh,
everyone in my sculpting sessions was supposed to receive a little official sample of sculpt. But uh I was like, "Oh, can you send like some of them to me in Canada and the other ones to the United States cuz like I want to pack some for the first day and then like have the rest waiting for me there." And she's like, "No, I can't ship to Canada." I'm like, "What? You shipped to Canada before?" But I don't know.
huh.
But they're willing to ship to the United States, so
That's interesting that they won't ship to Canada.
it
Wonder
might have been
why.
because it was like a comp thing. Like it was like a donation, so maybe she couldn't afford to
Hmm.
do it. But yeah, they definitely sent me like a starter pack, like
Hmm.
bits and giggles. But we'll see. And they've shipped all over the world. Like I did like a giveaway where people won epoxy sculpt samples. They ship them internationally, so I don't know. Yeah. Um So, oh, and Technician Sourwell asks how my computer's recovering. I had some problems with the Creature Conference. I think it was my OBS. I think my OBS was losing its mind. And today when I started OBS, it's like, hey, do you want to install an update? And of course, I'm not a professional. I start my OBS a few minutes before I want to jump on with these guys and go streaming. I'm like, nah, I'm not going to update it. And I tried to turn on my camera and my OBS froze my entire computer. I'm like, okay, I guess I'm updating my OBS. And it seems to be working much more swimmingly now. That's good. Also, people out in YouTube land, do I seem quiet? Because my mic is not on the boom arm, because I'm kind of like in a weird setup here. So just let me know if I'm too quiet. Shane, what
You
were you gonna
sound
say?
fine in Discord.
Good. Uh, all right. Oh, and then, so here's what I'm working on, which is some random. I got some cool stuff from some fun people, and just some other stuff from random people. And this is in the category of random stuff from random people, where I got this kind of like bomber jacket thing that I'm really excited to wear, but it's kind of boring and there's nothing on it. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to like it's kind of like a olive. I don't know if it's olive drab because that's the whole thing. Kind of like an olivey color. So I wanted to put like a Whalen Utani patch on the arm, and then I don't know where I'm going to put the Hadley's Hope patch, but I'm going to stick that somewhere else on it. So those are those two things. And then this is just because like I don't know, I had this like impulse purchase where going to Adepticon, a bunch of gamer dudes. Wanted to make it clear that, I'm a lover of pink and pink things. And I can't really explain it, but I was having like this down day where I was like feeling like pretty like um emotionally down because of like the blood clot thing and because of like not being able to use my leg. And I don't know if folks know, but I'm usually a pretty active person. Like I bike to work, I try to swim at least 2-3 times a week. Try to get in like 4 or 5 kilometers of walking. And yeah, I didn't really realize how much that stuff was like a mental health boon for me until it was gone. And anyway, I was having a shitty day, and I don't know why, but like I just like listened to the song Pink Pony Club by Chapel Roan, and that song's so fucking good. So I just, went and did some random impulse purchases off the back of that. But it was just, I don't know, it was just a feel good moment when I needed a feel good moment. So that's where
Can
this
I ask a
random is.
question?
Yeah,
Who is Chapel Roan? I feel like she
she's
just came
everything.
out of nowhere,
Yeah,
and
well,
I can't say I've ever heard a single Chapel Roan song.
you
Now, in
have. You just
fairness, I
don't know
don't
you
listen to
have.
a lot of.
No, you have.
Yeah, I don't know. Is she like the new like Justin Bieber?
She's
Like,
probably got a little more substance than Justin Bieber. Like she was just on the how was it? Was the 80s? And she like very publicly told the record industry that if they're gonna keep a load of money, that they should really give recording artists like benefits and like real salary and stuff like that. I don't know if that's ever gonna go anywhere. Um she's got I'd say she probably has a little more substance than Justin Bieber. All I know about her is that she was signed to one record label. She didn't really take off and they dumped her. Like they're like, you're no longer signed, get out of here. And then she decided to like do more of like her own kind of thing. Like not try to like fit into the box that she was thinking that she was expected to fit into. And she exploded in popularity when she started doing her own.
hmm.
But I'm by no means an expert. I've been mostly taught about Chapel Roan by Noah. Noah? Who's Noah? Nora? But she's I don't know, she seems like the real deal. I'll send you some songs. You'll probably have heard
What
them.
kind of music is it? Is it like pop music?
Yeah, but yeah.
I mean, I'm not deriding pop. Like, I like some pop music, but um, generally not my thing. But I'll give it a listen.
She's also I think she's like a big icon in like the queer community as well.
Hmm.
Like
The
not
way the people I know that really like her are the same people that were really into Billie Eilish when she first came out. Um, and I'm not a big fan of Billie Eilish, so
no, different vibe. Very different vibe.
different vibe. Okay.
Yeah, definitely different vibe. I will send you some stuff that you may have heard. My keyboard.
I got a bunch of epoxy sculpt underneath my fingernails because I'm
Oh,
a
that's
dummy.
gross.
I will be right back. I'm gonna go
Good luck.
get it from under my fingernailed.
For our dear listeners, toothpicks work really well for that.
Jane's got a better idea in mind.
Mm.
Can do this.
I
Good. For
don't know.
Shane's viewing pleasure later. Yeah.
We are seeing some of the Discord
Yeah.
on like because he turned his camera off, I believe.
Oh, okay. What the? Oh, that's weird. Why did it do? Oh, it's because I clicked off. And link.
And while you do that, in the chat, Tom told us he's been asked to do a sculpting class.
Well, that's awesome,
So
dude. Congratulations.
unfortunately, he didn't provide more details, which he can do now if he wants.
Yeah, I think you should definitely do it. Or I guess I should ask, how do you feel about it? Or I say you should definitely do it.
Diana said, I'm never booking tickets to see Kiss again. First time they were cancelled because of a terror attack at the venue. Second time, COVID. I genuinely fear it would happen. What would happen?
Well, yeah. I mean, like, first time I try to go to Adepticon, pandemic. Second time I go to Adepticon, blood clot. I'm a little worried about the third time. But whatever, man. You gotta break that curse. Oh, get back to this.
Okay, we have been de-puttified.
Good.
How
I sent a
did
bunch
you
of links to Chapel Roan videos in the chat, the stream host chat, so you can go check those out later. You've probably heard the songs
Okay.
before.
how did you deputify yourself? My
I
suggestion.
have like a little like oh, what is it called? There's a brand, but it's like a hand brush. that I
Okay.
have
Oh, fingernail
next to the
brush?
sink. I just
Nail brush.
yeah. So I just brush my hands under some soapy water.
Yeah, that
Cool.
works. My
Um,
suggestion was the toothpick. So
Next up on
Yeah.
my weird unboxing stream. Hope Eric's still in the chat. Look at this. Mysterious
uh,
signs on the package.
Dan just posted a couple minutes ago, so he probably is still around.
Dan or Eric?
And Peter wants to know from us what we are, how we are finding the new Emperor's Children release.
Peter, I'm glad you changed your avatar because I forgot that you're. Wait, what? How come there's two Peters in?
Yeah,
Because I forgot that you're
it's
Chad
the same one.
40K. Our server.
Yeah,
Otherwise, oh, and on Instagram too.
it's the same person.
Yes, I forgot that. Lost that. Oh shit. How do you find the new Emperor's Children? Did we talk about the Emperor?
We did, but they've since released. But I haven't seen enough of them on Instagram to really have an opinion. But
Yeah,
I
I haven't
liked
really.
them when they were previewed.
I haven't really touched them or anything, but I think it's good that it's happening. I'm shocked that it happened this quickly. Like it seemed like from the other releases that they're like you only got one Chaos Legion release per edition, and it seemed like we were gonna have to wait a while. So I was really shocked that they came out quickly. They look fine. I like that they like vibe with the more old school Chaos stuff. Like they look more reminiscent of like mid-90s Chaos Marines. But I also think that there's some points where they might be leaning on that a bit. What do you guys think?
I think I want to see them in some grimdark paint jobs before I pass
That's a
judgment
good
on
plan.
that matter.
Yeah.
I think a paint job can really change the vibe of a mini.
Kajan?
I like the old school aesthetic. But I also dislike the old school aesthetic. So
Pick a lane,
on
Kajan.
some models it works, and some it doesn't. So, but yeah, generally I like it.
Okay. Chat, let us know how
Um,
you feel about the new Emperor's models. Are they too sexy? Are they sexy enough? What do you think?
They could be more sexy, I feel.
Oh, Chance. I feel like Chance is a new person to join the stream. Chance, we got Kajan in the top right working on a scratch sculpted malefactor tuna transport beast. And we got Shane in the bottom right hand corner working on some gribbly Tyranid humanoid dudes for his custom Ink 28 setting, Triptych 28. Sorry, where were they from again? You said they're from a Kickstarter?
Rotten Factory. Really? Oh, you should know Rotten Factory. They make some great stuff.
Oh, I'm sure they do. I'm not up on like all the Kickstarters and the third party miniatures. That is Simon. If you want that information, he's your...
He went. You may remember him. He went like on hiatus for a while, and then he came back. He did like a lot of the main thing he's known for is he has this really cool line of what's the Mordheim, the like the Nurgle Circus
Oh, that
stuff.
sounds vaguely familiar.
Nurgle
So
Circus?
he
I think I've
came
seen
back
that.
and was basically a Kickstarter with like a handful of new things, but then there was also a lot of like bringing back the old stuff. So
I vaguely remember someone doing Chaos Circus, but it wasn't. But that was Nurgle.
I think in Mordheim there was like a Nurgle Circus, wasn't there? Originally, and then
yeah,
he like redid it, the new version.
yeah, he like did his own version of it.
Oh.
It's supposedly like his own setting, but like I think it kind of is a little bit derivative. And that's no knock on it, but
Yeah.
like I think it's very clearly derivative of like Mordheim.
Okay, so Radon has asked us a pretty epic question saying, how y'all got any suggestions on building a 1 foot tall by 2 foot long armature that would be oven safe, that won't require several rolls of aluminum? That seems like an epic task. If you don't want the aluminum foil, I would say you need to have really good wire on the outside, and like really solid wire, like to hold everything up, in the middle. And then, like, I don't know, like, is Dan Kaplinger still here? You can't put wood in the oven, can you? Because like, I'd be like, if you don't want to, you want to put it in the oven, you can't put foam, which is my number one bulking
You
thing, like insulation foam.
You can put
Um,
wood in the oven.
I mean, you can put it in.
Just make sure it doesn't have any water in it.
wood?
Yeah.
Or no, that's rocks. Sorry.
Yeah, rocks explode with
Um.
water.
Yeah. You can put regular temperature is not enough to burn wood to make it ignite in your oven
Okay, because what I
unless
was going to
it's
suggest is like when you're doing the armature, I'm assuming you're going to be putting putty on it, which is going to make it heavy. So you need the armature to be light. So you could do like a hollow armature, I suppose, if you do like really rigid wire to get like the bones of it, and then wind like thinner wire
uh,
around that.
I mean, at these dimensions, I wouldn't be working with anything that's going into an oven
What
because
kind of armature are we talking? Like what shape?
I think he wants to build a
to
giant Tyranid creature. He posted a screenshot, or he posted a sketch on the Discord. But what about doing it in sections, right? On like, don't do it all at once.
Is there a
Like,
reason it needs to go in the oven?
I think he's using
yeah,
some kind of clay that needs to be cooked.
and how do
Oh,
you
well, don't do that.
get 2 foot wide into an oven?
He's got a real big oven.
I that's one hell of an oven.
I would
So Dan
recommend using
Kaplinger, our
epoxy
resident,
clay.
yeah, like why, like use epoxy sculpt, man. He wants to use
Yeah,
polymer
like
clay.
it's not expensive and then you don't have to worry about baking it.
Yeah,
Like I wouldn't use an oven baked clay for this personally.
or air
Yeah, and
drying clay.
one of the
Or an air drying
benefits,
clay.
no, I wouldn't do that. One of the benefits of using the polymer clay is that you can keep working on it and it doesn't set quick. But I would suggest Radon that if that's the situation where you play to epoxy sculpt, I'd say just like sculpt in very small areas.
Yeah, I don't. If you want to use polymer clay, get yourself some a heating pan, and then you can heat the sections as you go
Hey,
along.
stand by. I've got kid
Yep.
problems. So
Um, give me a moment.
Yeah. Yeah, like Radon, if you can pick up some epoxy sculpt, it's gonna be the cheapest two-part epoxy clay that you can find that does like really good detail. Um, and I would just suggest that you experiment with it in small areas. And like one of the things that really unlocked sculpting for me was to approach it kind of like you approach painting, where you don't paint the base coat, the shadows, the highlights, and like the highest pin highlights all in one coat. Like you have to do those in subsequent coats. And you can do that with sculpting as well, where like build your armature, and then you on your armature you use some putty to like get like a rough kind of shape for what you're going for. Let that completely cure, and then come back and do kind of like medium details, like get closer to the final shape that you want. Let that cure, and then go in with a final layer of epoxy to do like the fine detail. And don't do it on the whole thing at once. Do it in like manageable section by section. That's how I did the big dominatrix that I made for Charles Tarner, the my most recent dominatrix that I did that was like bigger than a Great Titan. Um, it was all in sections. Like I would only sculpt in one section at a time. Dry. Oh God, Electro Dust Bunny, stay safe, buddy. Get some super glue on that blood. Hope you're okay. Yeah, so I would just say that like work slowly. Um, and if you want to have like a vision for the whole thing, like do the whole base coat, very rough detail, very rough structures, let it set, and then come in and you can like focus on like different like um areas that you inspired by. The other thing that I was going to say is that the benefit of epoxy sculpt, I guess you can do this with polymer clay too, but if you sculpt something up on epoxy sculpt, you don't like it, you can like you can cut it right off, but you can also carve it back, carve away the epoxy sculpt to get kind of like a rough shape that then you can come in and fix up with anyway, that's my
Yeah,
suggestion.
I'm back. I
Yeah.
wanted to show my heat pen that to give an idea, but I don't know where I put it, so not going to show it off. But I had I found that suggestion by people that, because of those crazy Japanese guys that doing the gravure models, like the 20 centimeter sexy girl doll
Yeah.
thingies. They are using these heat pens to lock to do hair and stuff like that, where you want to lock it in and
Yeah.
like only partially harden, so you can sculpt over it again and stuff like that in one go.
So
And I tried it,
Radon's asking if
and
your heat pen is just like a mini heat gun.
yeah, it's a mini heat gun. It's called a heat pen, and it doesn't go as hot as a heat gun. Like a heat gun can go up to 600 degrees Celsius and stuff like that.
Mhm.
No, but heat pen is more like 200 degrees, so it's much. There are also smaller ones. They are used for embossing stuff when they used it was a fad for a time when people would use those colored stones and put them everywhere on clothing and stuff like that. That was
Okay.
a fad for a while, and you would be using them for that. So those heat pans don't get as hot, and they will not. They usually shouldn't get to the temperature that it's burning um your polymer clay.
Okay,
So
cool.
you can use them without fear, which you can't with a heat gun. I mean, I also have a heat
I
gun,
have
but
used a heat gun enough to fear it, so you are correct. But good suggestion, Kajan. Thank you. I was hoping that Eric was still here because Eric from Between the Bolter and Me sent me a lovely collection of photos. I love that like in this current age of everything digital that Eric and his brothers as well have been going like more like analog. Like they're when they showed up. So this is the picture from Visterion where we did our event down in Texas. So there's me and Eric in the front row. There's Eli, the sweetest human on the planet here. Red Wet Skeleton, who I was talking about before, and then Adam, Eric's brother. The brother Greg's over here. There's Greg. But this is just like all kinds of like US based hobby people. Well, there's the Phoenician who came in from Sweden. So he's awesome, Jimmy. But then like Magus Boers here, there's the Ruin 501, Bill Ford. We got the Under the Dice guys are here. Like there's Gage and the other dudes are in here. Here. That's Dave Taylor was there. He's cool. There's Isaac, otherwise known as Weirding's Way. He was hanging out. Yeah, lots of really cool people. Anyway, so I didn't know he was sending me this picture. This is pretty cute. But yeah, he's been like taking pictures with film and like really like doing the printing himself. So investigating like what papers to use and what kind of ink. This picture is really cool because I wanted a piece that was all three of the brothers working. So I'm fairly certain that what this is Adam, I think, converted this guy and painted him. I think Eric painted the Arvis lighter, and then Greg took the picture. This is like a all three Wire Brothers art. I think it's pretty cool. This is a photo from Visterion where it's one of the models that Hydra built and I painted. And this is actually facing off against creation of Eli, Red White Skeleton. He made this horrendous monster for a long ago Inc. 28 event. And this was where I was facing off against someone. Their psyker failed a psychic test, turned into this giant creature, and my guy with his sledgehammer went to try and take it out, but the spoiler alert. And what do we got? Oh, and then I think this is, some of these photos were taken with film and some of them were taken with digital, but it's just like a really like moody photo of a Alpha Legion Marine. I don't know. I just really like the lighting. It's a lot greener than it looks. It's green. But yeah, so that's one of Eric's pictures. And this is just, I think this was done with film. Some of these were done with film and some of these were done digital. But just getting really atmospheric photos, actually printing. It's cool in my books.
Photography is a very underrated part of the hobby
Yeah,
to
because
me.
like
It's something I'd really
have
like
it
to
on
get
our
into.
we have it on our phones, and like, you know, we're like, oh yeah, I can take a picture with my phone, but this is just like a different level. I think this one might have been, and like some of these were taken with like his grandfather's camera, which is like some weird Soviet camera from like 20s or something. So there's a lot of analog story to these bad boys.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Like between the both of me, some of the most generous hobbies. There's Eric X in the chat. Good. They're just some of the most generous hobbyists on the planet. So again, here I just really like the color in the background, blue contrasted with like the yellows in the foreground. So these are beautiful, Eric. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
yeah, those pictures are awesome. Eric, have you guys considered doing like an article on photography on you guys' blog, or have you done one already and I just missed it?
They do one in Inc. 28. Oh, the last one is film. So this guy here is film. Sweet.
Yeah,
You say
photography in
Eric says
general
I
is
should
like
do
something.
more. I only really have 2. Is that 2 articles about photography, or clarify, Eric?
Let's
Or
see.
what were you saying, Shane?
I was just saying photography is an aspect of the hobby I really want to get into because like yeah, I see a lot of these like Ink 28 projects and stuff have all these really cool photography, have all this cool photography that, you know, really adds to the atmosphere of the setting they're building. And that's something I'd really like to do with my own setting.
Well, Eric's your guy, and I feel like you guys don't live that far apart, so maybe you can hook it up.
They're in Baltimore, right? Or are all of them in Baltimore?
I
Or
I
like
can never keep track
general
where they
area?
all are. One of them is in a really epic name town that I'm not going to dox them. Like every time I have to write the name of that town, I'm like, ah.
Let's see.
Oh, the Black Arbites model is film. Okay, that's the one I thought. The one where the guy's like pulling on his glove or whatever. And then I have another fun thing that fun people sent me where I was gonna open this a long time ago, completely forgot. But I guess I have another thing. So this is from Still Tower, otherwise known as Pablo in Nottingham, who was super kind enough to give us a sweet tour when I was in Nottingham with. Nora didn't come on the tour, but Tom came on the tour with us. But yeah, Pablo does losing my word. It's not screen printing, lino cut printing. These are some stickers, but I'm signed up for his all kinds of, they all have. So I'm signed up for his Patreon. I get these cool stickers from him. But the cool stickers are actually based on even cooler line cuts. So if you sign up I think every like 4 months or something, he sends out like a batch of these are numbered, I don't know if you say it original, say it anyway. These are different demons. So this is Leonard, the demon. And we've got
Leonard.
Lechies. I don't know how to pronounce demon.
No, I'm sure it is Leonard. It's just
Leonard.
funny. Like it's like we've got Baal, Baphomet, Leonard.
Lechies. This one is Ukobach. Kobach. And he gives us like the whole like demographia. Like, oh, here's a really cute one. This one is I'm on. This one's hard to see because there's stuff in the way. Like a old. So thank you, Pablo, for sending these through.
Diana took a guess in chat, but I don't think it should be read out for the YouTube algorithm's sake.
Oh, okay. Was that a bad thing to say?
I mean, probably tripping the
Oh,
algorithm.
oh, okay. Oh, sorry. Okay, I read her second one. I read did you disinfect the burn afterwards? I'm like, why can't I say that? Oh, okay. That's a good, is that a demon? Near Swallow. Oh, no, okay. I think she thinks that that's the really cool town that they live in. No, it's in the United States, and that name very much sounds... Sorry, that name sounds like something the UK would come up with. And then, this is neither here. Because I can't go to Adepticon, I went and I got all kinds of brand new business cards printed to share with people at Adepticon, but that's not interesting at all. What's interesting is that I got these from a cool place where you can print pictures on the back of the business cards, and every business card is a unique picture. So I basically made my own trading cards for like
That's cool.
Mr. Pink Creations. I did this pretty rapidly. I just like pulled some pictures quickly and slapped them in there. So they're not all perfect, but they're kind of fun.
Gotta catch them all.
Gotta catch them all. I mean, like, these things are not cheap, so pretty much like collecting cards. Yeah, so they turned out okay. Got the ones with the pink back. I didn't know if the pink backgrounds were going to. They can't really see the full color. Yeah. So, oh, I can't explain it, Shane, but this picture of the Great Red Dragon is one of my like most pleasing. And it's like half built, not even halfway finished, but I just think it looks really cool. It didn't translate great on this card. Got Nyarlathotep. Anyway, yeah, so I thought that was fun. But now I don't get to give them any.
Boo.
If you meet me in real life, maybe you can get some in collector cards.
I'm
Anyway,
trying to
that's neither
make
here nor
these
there.
like boots or these peasant shoes look less like peasant shoes and more like I don't know, like somewhat modern looking boots.
Make them taller and more tightly laced.
Yeah, it's kind of what I'm doing. Feel like I'm always like taking models that were intended to be fantasy models and trying to like figure out how to make them look more sci-fi.
Well, you could put straps on the boots, like big chunky straps and like holes. Like not like
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. After like I get the structure down and the green stuff's cured, I might go in and add some more like details like buckles and stuff.
yeah. Uh, so Eric said I think he did a post about starting film. Oh, and another post that he was going to release tonight that deals with buying a $200 DSLR camera to see how an older camera can be used to take better photos than a phone. Oh, cool. That's sounds like a really. You be down to read a blog post like that, Shane?
I'm always looking to learn. So yeah, for sure.
Well, I like the idea of like buying like a cheap DSLR, a cheap old DSLR, being taught how to get better pictures.
Yeah, we have this place around us called Wonder Book and Video,
Yeah.
and they sell like a ton of used books and video games and movies and all sorts of stuff. But they also have like a section for like old knickknacks, like cameras and stuff. I would bet that they probably have some stuff like that, like a
Yeah.
camera, old cameras. So maybe I can go check that
I
out.
think it's like I don't know. I'm not gonna like try and put words in it. I would guess that from like my photography experience, the key is light. Like if you have good light, old cameras can do. New cameras are better at dealing with low light, whereas old cameras struggle with low light. But if you have good lighting, I think you can. Oh, Kajan, how's your work going?
Progressing steadily, but yeah, uh, it's nothing glamorous. That's the problem. It's all at least I always feel
Fine.
like that's the problem. And while we are on the topic of taking pictures, that's I also don't think I'm great at taking pictures of my work. So even with the phone, so I'm not sure if expensive camera would fix that.
I have found that the best tool that I have is an expensive. Um, I used to try and take pictures of my pictures with expensive cameras, flash, off-camera flash, and stuff like that. But then I tried taking pictures of it with like my light lamp, old one that I used to use, and that was just a way stronger, more even light source. And then these days I use the Red Grass Games R9 or something like that. It's like got these two bars that you can change the angle of them. I find that that's like a for lighting stuff. And as you see on stream, I just shoot my camera through the middle of the two bars. All kinds of stuff. Yeah. So I would say you can probably make great photos with a cheaper camera. And Peter says, Still Tower has fantastic art for sale. I have his Gene Steeler called Patriarch painting over my hobby desk. I also have that. It's Patriarch, and then he did one second edition Gene Steeler, and I think I have a second edition Termagant with a Strangleweb that he did. Oh, sorry, Radon. I haven't seen your fleet's fluff lore document yet. Take a look to see. Has anyone else seen Radon's fleet fluff lore that he posted in Discord?
I have not.
No, I haven't had the
I will
time.
have to take a look.
And good to see James Mahood again. It's been a while. Welcome back.
But I'm curious what Electro Dust Bunny managed to get up to that he had to cauterize that cut.
Yeah, Electro Dust Bunny, you want to tell us more about what happened? Uh, Technician Sourwell says, would you ever consider releasing an art book of photos of your minis? If that's a question for me, I got a weird feeling about it.
Imposter syndrome feeling, or
No, it's like it's like I don't know. I don't think it's imposter. It's like
I
how do I
mean,
describe it? It's something like not wanting to get too high on my own supply. That's not the right. Okay, so here's a
yeah,
story.
you
Here's a
you don't
story.
feel important enough for.
Here's a story. No, it's that yeah, a little bit that here's a story.
That's yeah.
So I've heard stories from people in this hobby. I think we've talked about these stories in previous streams or podcasts or whatever, who start believing the hype about their own stuff. Like you can get like people can say nice things about your stuff that you work on and stuff like that. And it's cool, but I like to try and take it all in stride because I know where I came from, and where I came from is the same place that everyone else comes from in this hobby. Like I just bought some miniatures, thought they were cool, wanted to do cooler stuff with them, started messing around with it. Um, Learned from people like Hydra / from practice how to like sculpt and convert. And yeah, I guess I think I'm nothing special. I've created some cool stuff that people like, but I'm always worried about believing my own hype. I'm always worried about getting a big head about the work that I do. Um,
It's funny you
because
mentioned those other creators because I think I know exactly who you're talking about.
well, like they've shared it on like our streams and stuff. There are other creators who
Yeah.
have commented on how they've gotten in this loop where they get high on their own hype and they start kind of resting on their laurels because they think they're like they start to believe the nice things that everyone's saying about them. And like you can believe the nice things that people say about you without getting like caught up in it, but people have talked about how they've gotten caught up in it and it's hurt their art. So I don't want to do that, and I also don't want to be put on any pedestals. Like if you message me on Instagram, I'm going to respond to you. I don't feel like I don't know. People are like, I don't have time to respond to my Instagram messages. I don't know how many Instagram messages you're getting, buddy, but I'm pretty sure you have time. And like, I would rather people like feel comfortable reaching out to me, asking me questions, um, so that I can give them like whatever tips or advice that they find helpful. Because at the end of the day, I want more cool miniatures made by more people. I want more people to be confident and able to create cool stuff, ideally from sculpting and green stuff. STLs, yeah, sure. 3D sculpting, whatever. I feel like that's a different thing, but I want more people to be um, eager and confident to convert miniatures because that's where really cool ideas come from. So, um, yeah, basically, I would feel weird about putting out a book with my miniatures. Also, I don't paint enough miniatures. Create an art book. I don't think, unless they're like pictures of like guys like this, some green stuff on them, photographed on black backgrounds, like that. He's not done yet, but this guy's pretty close to done. And when I'm finished the green stuff on this guy, he's done for me. I don't need to paint him. I think he's a work of art already. People will be like, "Oh, I'd love to see him painted." It's like, why? Why? Can't you imagine your own scheme on him? He looks great. But and this kind of came up for me recently, because there's like what do I talk about? There's a community event going on right now where they're encouraging Tyranid artist A to recreate and repaint the scheme of Tyranid artist B. And when I first saw this posted, because of the photos that were chosen, it looked to me as like an invitation for folks who like Tyranids and who like painting Tyranids to lay more flowers at the feet of people who already have too many flowers. Like, go and like, I don't know, pay more tributes to people who've already got like 10,000, 15,000, whatever followers by being like, hey, look, I painted your scheme. Hey, look, I painted your scheme. And it made me uncomfortable because I felt like the way it should be going is that someone in the community who has a lot of followers, who's a Tyranid artist, like let's just say Hydra, got like 8,000, 9,000 followers, something like that. He's not really known for Tyranids. He's known for all kinds of stuff. But if like Hydra went and found an account that had like 100 followers or 200 followers, and then Hydra painted that scheme to draw more attention to the starting artists who have really cool ideas, have really cool high fleet schemes, have maybe not been like that, have never got that exposure. And that was like what I saw as being like a useful approach to this community event, versus a whole bunch of people repainting paint schemes we've already seen at that. Like, we talked about the coconut crab scheme before, but like we don't need more people painting the coconut crab scheme.
It's funny. I think the new coconut crab scheme is the 3rd edition cover scheme. I feel like nobody used to do that scheme, and now I see it everywhere.
Okay,
Everywhere.
yeah, it's getting popular. But anyway, like I feel like that scheme's more interesting. This is a long and meandering conversation about how I was talking to like the event organizer for this thing, and I was not doing a very good job of expressing myself. Thankfully, he's a very patient human, and he made a lot of time for me to listen to like what I was trying to say and how I was trying to say it, and he had patience for me not saying it particularly well. But what I was trying to get at is that I don't need any more people painting my scheme. Like, I don't know how to say this without sounding like it, but I would rather that
It,
people who have a huge following in the community go and paint schemes of people who have a tiny following in the community, because that's more interesting to me. I think that's more helpful to community. So when I think about doing an art book, because of the things that go on in my head, it feels vaguely masturbatory. Look at me, ha ha ha! I'm so interesting. But like, I don't know. That's probably just my own. That's my long meandering answer. Good question though.
I think I get where you're coming from. I think that's
Yeah.
a very humble answer. But I also think it does like very much foster, you know, um, uh, a big problem with social media, I think in general, is these kind of parasocial relationships that people tend to develop with like popular people in the spaces that they're a part of.
Hey, do we
Um,
have? Is this a
and I think
parasocial
oftentimes,
relationship? Is that what we've got here?
well,
I've never met any of you in real life.
well, well, no, that I mean, a parasocial relationship is where you feel you have a relationship with somebody you don't know.
Oh,
Um,
well, that's what I'm asking. Do I know you at all?
well, I think you know me pretty well.
Yeah.
Um, but like in terms of like idolizing hobbyists, I think it it's fine that like, oh, you saw a popular creator, you did a cool scheme. I mean, how many creators do tutorials for how to paint, XYZ? And a lot of people use that for their army because it's some people don't want to spend hours figuring out how they're going to paint their Tyranids.
Yeah.
Um, but at the same time, I think that is also inhibitive to creativity. Um,
What is?
and
Which part?
like just basically copying what other popular creators have done instead of developing your own scheme, or taking a look at maybe some of the more the smaller hobbyists that maybe have tried new techniques, or I mean, really, like the coconut crab scheme, that's how that started. It was just
Yeah, it
some
was a new
random
technique.
guy who was like not a big name in the hobby space, and everybody just fell in love with his scheme, and then it kind of just exploded from there.
Yeah.
And it is kind of funny how those like smaller creators and smaller uh, movements, so to speak, uh, can kind of just explode. Um, but yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is like I think it's good to like it's good to take inspiration from your hobby idols. I mean, obviously I have like I've got that dominatrix I'm working on, which is just basically a straight rip of you and Moloch's work. Um,
Hydra's
but
work. I ripped
and
off Hydra.
Hydras, yeah. So I mean, like, but also if like, what if every model I converted was just a rehash of the stuff you guys have done? Like, it's I think it's good to use other people's art as a springboard to find your own voice
Yeah, and I
in
guess
your
that could be an
artwork.
argument, right? Like that could be an argument for this whole. What it is it's a challenge to try and figure out how someone else's scheme works and improve your art by like putting on by trying to paint something outside your comfort zone, which totally makes it.
Yeah, like, because I think like Hydra, he washes his models with blue. Well, maybe you try and wash it with purple, but then you realize that, oh well, this part of the scheme doesn't work now. Let me try changing the talon color. Oh well, now the highlights on the carapace don't really work. Let me try changing that, and all of a sudden you've got your own unique scheme that maybe it started out life as just a rehash of Hydra's scheme, but now it's turned into its own thing. I don't know.
Kajan,
I
you got any
finished his
thoughts?
boots.
I absolutely agree with Shane in terms of that's you should be imitating it, you should be stealing it, but when you steal it, make it yours.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see the point in just copying someone else's work. I mean, sure, that's maybe how you start out, but you should be always aspiring to make it your own. And I think therein lies the value of it. That being said, popular people copying other popular people's work, I see absolutely no point in that. Aside from starting drama or having the community come together and be like, "Oh, he did a better job than the original creator." I'm I mean, fine if people want to subject themselves to this, to sit there and go into direct competition of each other, but to me, it's like you have someone that's popular, that's picking the scheme of someone else as popular. Do you agree beforehand that you're doing this, or do you just pick someone? And if you just pick someone, how much of it is then you trying to one up them? And
Well, I
I
was
mean, I'm always negative Nancy, so I'm seeing mostly the negative points of this one. So, but yeah,
um yeah, and like I like what Peter posted in the chat, which is he said universal law, you got to give to get. And I don't know, I feel like that speaks to me, but it's like I don't want to stagnate. Like I was talking to Brother Pink, and Brother Pink was like, "Yo, 2025?" Like, "Yeah." He's like, "No Tyranids." Shit. I should do that. I should do that. 2025, no
Not
Tyranids.
before you finish the Red Dragon Blade.
Exactly. This is my Shane, this is my fucking problem. I was like, yeah, I'm totally gonna do that. I'm like, wait, but before I do that, I'm gonna finish the Red Dragon. And before I do that, I'm gonna finish this Norn Emissary thing that I started. And before I did that, I'm gonna finish this other Tyranid that I owe for someone else. Oh, and I'm supposed to make a Dominatrix for Flynn. I'm like, but I like the sentiment of it because I don't like people thinking I'm a Tyranid artist. Like I do a lot of Tyranids, but like I don't think people know that I do Dark Eldar. Probably because I did like Dark Eldar like very early in my internet blog career, not even on like I did some on Instagram. And then like Gene Stealer Cult, like again, that was like early in my Instagram career. Really made any and like
Plus,
Crude,
it's kind of
maybe a little
Tyranid
bit.
adjacent.
Exactly. So I just like I don't think anyone else cares, but I feel bad for my Dark Eldar force because I have like me and Homunculus Coven, you don't know what I have in my Coven. And like I need to make time to do that. And then like the Crute force, like I've never really finished my Crute force and like done it justice. And there's all these cool concepts that I barely started on for Crute. And like I want time to do all these things. And I also want to challenge people who think I'm a Tyranid artist. Because like, yeah, I can do Tyranids, but I can also do other. So I don't want to be complacent. And I think that if you like start getting too high off your own supply, start believing the hype about yourself, that you can very easily get complacent, fall into like the boxes that people expect you to be. And I also just like I want to keep encouraging other people to do cool shit.
Boots.
Boots?
On the ground.
Oh wait. Let me pull up my window where I can actually. Oh yeah, yeah. Just put like a geometric kind of strap at the top, and those are gonna look pretty. Or oh, you can put like a metal like boot cap on it.
Yeah, I think that's probably what I'm gonna do once the green stuff is cured, because I know myself, and if I try and do that while it's curing, I'm going to ruin it.
Peter is
First
saying,
law of green stuff.
yeah, smart man. Yes, if you haven't learned the first law of green stuff, the first law of green stuff is as soon as you're happy with something that you've sculpted in green stuff, put it down and don't screw it up. Peter is saying, isn't that an ego thing? You don't want to be seen as a one-trick pony. Yeah, probably. Probably an ego thing. Well, it's also like I just want to like I'm curious about other Xenos stuff. Like I like all kinds of Xenos factions.
You are Xenos curious.
I'm Xenos curious, definitely. I don't want to be painted into like a corner of just being Tyranid stuff.
I disagree on that being an ego thing either. Also, because the way I'm seeing it, I always want to get back to Eldar at some point, and it's mostly a time thing, and I don't just want to abandon the projects I'm working on, and projects I'm working on take time. So at the end of the day, you gotta pick a lane. You kind of gotta pick a lane, because if you hop around too much, you never get anything done.
Good point.
I know that feel.
I
Story of
mean,
my hobby life.
yeah, behind me an entire shelf of unfinished models. So
I've got an entire garage full of them, but I can't get out to it because of my busted legs. So gotta wait. Yeah, it's bad, man. I gotta clean up the studio. Like I needed to clean up the studio before I injured my leg, and I'm like, God. Well, then it was snowed in. We got like all the snow, and it was like I can't ask like if I can't shovel the snow, I can't ask Nora to shovel at the studio. So I have plants in the studio there. The studio basically got
no.
snowed in, and then yeah, I don't know.
Prepare for the smell of rotting vegetation.
There's heat in there, so maybe they'll dry it.
All right, tonight is the night of sculpting inanimate things. You're now going to sculpt a cloak.
Oh man, that's a good one.
Or sculpt the part of a cloak that I had to chop up to convert this model. So we're kind of like re-sculpting the cloak.
Fine.
that's something that's still
That's
scaring me.
that's another thing with sculpting with green stuff. The way you learn to green stuff is by filling in gaps.
I 100% agree with that.
Like this. Okay, so here we got this guy. We got this Tyranid thing here. People were like, "Oh my god, it's so cool!" I literally just cut this thing up, put stuff together and then filled in gaps. Like I filled in a gap here and I gave it some kind of like design to like look like this part of the leg is going over that part of the leg. I filled in a gap here with some rib stuff. I filled in a gap here with some, this is the best Tyranid gap filling. Put random tendons in there, man. Oh yeah. I cut these and I positioned them and moved them back. So I had to fill in a gap here. And I just look, I followed the line of this armor plate into that armor plate, and this armor plate into that armor plate. Fill it in a gap. Here there was a bigger gap, so I had to like sculpt some armor plates, but I just copied what's going on here, which is a couple armor plates, and just marched them back. And there's a small armor plate here, so just fill in that gap. Same deal over here. Cut out the brains, fill some armor plates to fill in the gap. Under here, I needed to do more like brain stuff and like stuff but it's honestly, this is how you get good at sculpting. You sculpt in areas where you have a texture on one side and a texture on the other side that you can line up, and then you just like fill in the space in between. Really good way to get like.
Also sculpting in layers.
This is what I was suggesting before for Radon. You gotta. Oh, you might have been away when I was talking about that. I wrote an article for Ink 28, or 28 Mag, about sculpting like you paint. It was not good enough to be selected to be in the 28 Mag collected, but you know that's okay. But yeah, just like the idea of building up the thing you're sculpting in the same way that you would build up painting a model. You wouldn't go to a model and be like, I'm going to prime this, base coat this, shade this, highlight this in one coat. Just as you can't do that for a model, you can't do that for painting a model, you can't do that for sculpting a model. You need to like you have to prime it by building an armature or like the base model. You got to put in a base coat where you like rough in the shapes that you want for an area. And then you come in and you do the detail over it. Like, for example, here, these armor plates, I definitely did not sculpt those all in one. I filled in that gap with like foil, I think, at first, and then I built a ridge up in green stuff on top of the foil with no detail. Just a ridge that went from there to there. And then in the third layer, I came in and I sculpted the armor plate. But you could even like, I think I go over this in my sculpting armor plates tutorial, but the best way to sculpt these armor plates is to start with the one that's at the bottom, sculpt that, let it harden completely, do all the detail. Then sculpt this one on top. Let it harden completely, then sculpt this one on top. Then sculpt that one last. And that's 4 different sculpting sessions, fully curing in between. Working in layers.
Yep. And also just like painting, you know, when you're laying down your base coats before you've done your highlights and your shading and stuff, the model looks kind of shitty.
Yeah, definitely.
So sometimes your first couple sculpting layers are going to look shitty, but just like don't keep fucking with it. You know, if you're just laying down your baseline, like right now, look at this. This looks horrible. Look at this.
Well, yeah, because you need a solid backing to sculpt your fine detail on top of it. The problem with trying to sculpt, yeah, it's wait, back it up a little.
If I can get it to
back it up.
focus.
Back it a little bit away.
Back it up. Come on. Sometimes my camera.
Oh yeah, you got it. You got it. Yep.
So see, like this looks like shit, but like, hopefully, with a little work, it'll look less like a giant blob of green stuff hanging out the side of him.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna sculpt that like that fur lining along the cape. That's gonna be done well after the base cape has finished curing.
You don't need to do it all at once. Apparently Electro Dust Bunny cut the tip of his thumb off with an. So I've been there, man. Apparently cauterizing it was the fastest way to close it. Oh man, that's. I would try super glue, but I don't even know where my super. Diana says,
I would try
doing...
going to the hospital. That's what, like if you actually cut the tip of your thumb off.
Yo, Nora did that one time. Nora did that one time, and she like kept the tip on there, and they were like, "Do you want to keep this tip? Because like really, we could just cut it off." No, I want to keep the tip of my finger. They're like, okay, I guess, but it was like painful. But then at the end, the doctors were like, "It's a good thing you kept that because it was a natural Band-Aid." Diana says, am
I
I
was gonna say
doing...
she could wear it on a necklace.
Oh, gross. Diana, am I doing feminism a disservice if I say that's what husbands are for? Any gaps in my models are resolved by Thomas. Hey, you guys get to negotiate like how your relationship works. Listen, I hate cooking. Nora is an amazing cook. Nora tends to do more cooking than me, but she hates cleaning. And I don't mind washing dishes, so I wash dishes. Are we doing feminism a disservice? I don't know. I usually shovel the snow when I don't have busted legs.
I think social politics don't come into the politics of two people's relationship with each other. I think that's between
I
them
like that.
and what works for them.
That's a good point.
And I always thought that feminism gave you the freedom to do whatever the fuck you want.
Oh, I like that too.
I gotta go
Also,
say goodnight to the kid. I will be right back.
okay.
Yeah.
Also, Diana, it reminds me of Nora doesn't ever clean her fountain pen. That's what husbands are for. So now that I'm desk bound, she's like, oh, you know what you can do sitting in a chair? You can clean my fountain pens for me. I'm like, I can definitely do that. Haven't done it yet, but I should. Peter, do you need to finish? I only convert and love to explore concept. I'm fine not paying the minis. Painting does nothing for me. It's like coloring those kindergarten crayon books. I don't know if we have... Oh, crayon books. Yeah, Peter, I'm with you, man. I used to get butthurt when I would like post like a finished miniature where like all the green stuff's done, all the conversions done, and be like, look, mwah, it's a beauty. And people would be like, can't wait to see it painted. Like, screw you. It's finished. It doesn't need to be painted. Use your imagination. It's finished. Oh, I can't wait to see it painted. So yeah, I'm with you, buddy. That like converting for me as well and sculpting for me as well is getting a concept into the flesh. One of my first major Dark Eldar projects was wanted to, before they released the plastic back models, and I think before they released the, I can't remember if they'd released the resin models for the grotesques, but I wanted to make a like a converted homunculus coven and like convert my own like homunculuses and stuff like that, convert some raiders. And I didn't need to own the army. I just needed to express the concept. So I was on like a Dark Eldar forum. I'm like, hey, I want to make this army. Does anyone want this army? And that was like one of my, was my first, I guess it was first major commission. I didn't know what the hell I was, because I underpriced my work. I expected like it to be much cheaper than it was. And then I like basically did a whole bunch of scratch sculpting on all these miniatures. I'm like, hey, this took me a lot longer than I expected. So I think we were both came out of that not thrilled. But it was one of the best projects I ever did because I just needed to get the idea out of my head. Where's the... Bear with. I just needed to get the idea out of my head, and I just needed it to be real and exist out in the world as kind of like a proof of concept. It was almost like a super intense version of drawing a concept sketch. If I was a more sane human being, I would just draw concept sketches and be fine with it. But no, I need to make miniatures are my concept sketches. Let's see if I can. This guy.
And while you're looking for that, I don't think that painting is the finished point for the model. For me, the finish point is reached much earlier than painting.
Yeah.
No, I don't need to technically don't need to finish a model. Sometimes just like Peter said, getting it to a certain point is enough to. When it's just busy work, like I should be putting some more greeblies here and a little bit more detail there, but nothing big changes at the model anymore. And
Yeah. Yeah, I get tired of it when it's like 90% there. I'm like, oh god, I gotta go. Like that's the thing with this guy. Like, this guy's pretty much done. I just have to like clean some stuff up on him. But what I was gonna say is this is one of the grotesques that I made for that. This was back in like 2012. think there was a new Dark Eldar Codex. I was living in the UK with my British ex-bird, and I was working on this project up in like her attic. Sure. Work. And yeah, I'm pretty sure her parents thought I was insane, but you know, whatever. I taught her kid brother how to sculpt because like Warhammer. And that was the only time that I've ever been to a game stay in the UK. Because it was on my birthday. But yeah, this is a there was a guy called Paulson Games who made some like kind of sketchy, maybe ripping off Games Workshop IP in the era of Chapter House. He made these things called bioterrors, and I use those as the basis to convert up these. I guess we already had the Talos because I was using Talos bits, but I don't think we had the plastic racks. We probably had the resin grotesques, but they weren't that. So I made my really happy. But like I did all this sculpting on the back with like the back spinal column bone tree things. Made my own like syringes and fuels. So yeah, that was the one where I didn't need to own the models. I just had the
Getting fabric to look like it's laying organically is something I really struggle with when it comes to sculpting. I also don't
silicone
really know the right
shaper
tool
and
to use.
silicone's shaper and less folds than you think.
Yeah,
And less defined folds. Very soft. Maybe like one sharp fold.
I'm trying to kind of match the style. I feel like I keep sculpting like off camera. It's like
That's fine.
it's because I like
I
don't.
think I'm gonna have to go soon. I'm like my expiry. Also sitting really weird because I have my leg up on the chair.
Well, in that case, I'm not going to mix anew.
Yeah, apparently I did too much. Did too much unboxing and not enough hobby. So I'm glad you guys were doing hobby. Thank you. But I'm glad that we talked hobby. I feel like I've enjoyed the conversation. Wait, what was the weird thing that we were talking?
I don't remember us talking about anything weird.
We talked about all kinds of weird. Maybe the chat will remind. Pink Pony Club.
Chapel Run.
Chat, do you remember the weird stuff? Okay, chat. You've been here since the beginning.
Do you remember the weird stuff?
What are the weird things we talked about on the stream that I can use for the weird title? I like doing the friends thing where I'm like the one where like I did the one where Sean Penn's lawyer gets corpse spiders or something. Something about Emperor's Children?
I mean, we talked that Emperor's children could be more sexy.
That doesn't sound weird enough for us.
Oh.
Be of note.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I don't remember us being exceptionally weird today. So
Good night, Radon. Hope you figure out your sculpting stuff. Try epoxy sculpt. It'll be okay.
Or epoxy clay.
Epoxy, yeah, epoxy clay. I didn't
That's
feel
what
like it was different enough. Epoxy sculpt.
that's what Papoon did to make my gigantic dominatrix model.
Oh my god, I forgot you own that.
Yep.
Do you use epoxy clay? Do you find it? I like used it for a while, and I used it on that big dominatrix I was working on. Just like I didn't feel like it was different enough from epoxy sculpt.
I felt that I agree, and I felt that the ways in which it was different, it was it accentuated the parts I don't like about epoxy sculpt rather than being better than it.
I felt
Like I
like it was
found it
more
had a lot more.
carvable.
Yeah, but
What
it
did you
also
find?
I felt it had a lot more of a, like, you know how sculpt kind of has like that silty kind of stuff you get when you get it wet.
Yeah,
I feel
yep,
like
yep.
it had more of that. At least the batch I had did.
Diana is saying my sister will not put air in her tires, and if she can avoid it, we'll get someone else to pump fuel for her. I'm happy to change tires, etc., and I can't even drive. Listen, Diana, I ride my bike to work 2 times a week. I have airless tires because I don't know how to change a bike tire. Whenever I get flats, I just take it to the shop. I'm like, hey guys, good luck. I tried once.
Wow.
When I was in Japan, I tried once, and I was trying on a road bike, so probably not a great thing to try on because like they're weird. But I tried to take off my tire and fix it once, and I was like, never again. I'm gonna pay someone to do this every time. But then in like 2017, I found a bike that had solid rubber tires. I'm like, this is amazing. And I have paid hundreds of dollars to replace my solid airless tires rather than going back. Dude,
Well,
chat, is no one going to tell me about weird shit that we talked about? Weird shit that we talked
mm,
about.
Let's go back to the VOD.
On TikTok. There was one thing where I said something really random. This would be nothing to do.
I don't know what you're referring to, so. And as far as changing tires go, I didn't like doing that until I got some actual tools that help you change the tire itself. And no, I don't mind anymore.
Good.
Even Diana agrees with me that it was a relative tame screen.
Jeez,
So.
man, come on. Okay, I guess I have to go listen to my own. I gotta go listen to my own voice. For how long have we been on? An hour and 30 minutes. Let's see
Well, it
what I
should
talk.
be at the towards the beginning, right?
It might just happen. I don't know. Hey,
And
because I
Electro
definitely
Dust
forgot.
Bunny,
Yeah.
sorry, Electro Dust Bunny said it's hard to be odd in this show.
Well, let's talk about something strange. Because we didn't do it at the start, and because I'm supposed to be editing a supercut of this that I completely forgot about. Shane, what part of Rick Priestley's palatial North American cottage are we this week?
We are coming to you live from his storage closet under his stairs.
What kind of weird and wonderful things are you finding? That'd be strange, buddy. Make it stranger.
Unreleased female ogres.
Oh,
Slaneshi
okay.
female ogres.
Okay, that was not the direction I thought you were going to go, and that's amazing. I love it. Bringing it back to the Slaneshi content from Rick
Always.
Priest's Harry Potter cover. Or his stairs. All right, with that, friends, I think it's time to call it. Thank you, Shane and Kajan, for streaming with me on this, coming back to streaming after a while stream. Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, my pleasure.
And yeah, we will try it again in 2 weeks' time. Work in Progress Wednesday. I think that's when I should have been at Adepticon. So that'll be. I need you guys to console me. That's literally when I should have been doing my first session at Adepticon. I gotcha.
We'll have our own Adepticon with
Let's
blackjack
do
and
it.
hookers.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Down. I'll look forward to that. And go ahead, Kajan.
The alternate Adepticon with blackjack, Jack and hookers.
Oh. And then we'll see about we'll try for a creature conference in a week's time. But that is all for now. Thank you all for joining us in the chat. And we will talk to you soon. And thank you, Diana, for the well wishes on my leg. I really need my leg to be better soon, so that would be.
And we
Good night,
probably
folks.
also should be saying subscribe and
Oh,
like the stream
thanks.
Oh yeah,
and
comment, like, subscribe,
notify.
go to the Patreon.
Yeah, if you're watching the stream like the VOD after the fact, leave us a comment here with the weirdest thing that we talked about on the stream. There we go. That's how we know you get to the end. And you'll help me remember the weird shit that we talked about. And yeah, and I'll look forward to chatting with you all soon. Adios.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.